Alright, y'all. We got a spin for who is out in the who is out in the woods with Lee at the beginning of the episode. Okay. By the way, Moke joined us off screen, so he's here and he's a candidate. Let's go. Sorry for the hiatus, guys. My bad. Oh, T-Dog. That's actually clutch. Oh, that's not clutch. Well, it's like fire is what I'm saying. It's like, that's like a W choice out of all the choices it could have possibly been. T-Dog and somebody else is going to be out in the woods with Lee. And I'm going to stumble upon someone in a bear trap. Potential. Oh, I hope it's Doug, but it might be Mark. No cap. It's Mark. So Mark and T-Dog. That's actually fire. I like that a lot. I think T-Dog and Lee are together, and Mark is the one by himself in this timeline because, T-Dog and Lee are homies. T-Dog is pretty much Lee's Kenny in this timeline, okay? Basically, now we have to roll the dice. Which one of these nodes is going to be caught in the bear trap? Ben, Travis, or David? I'd roll a D3, which is not a real thing, but I don't care. Alright, I'm gonna close my eyes and stop this. One. Who is it? Ben! That's good. That's great. That's good. You know why that's good? Because fuck Ben. That's fire. Yes, sir. Anyways, what's gonna happen? I have to roll a d5. Basically, the leg. Lee can chop off Lee's, or Lee can chop off Ben's leg. He cannot chop off Ben's leg, or Lee can just say fuck this shit and just leave them behind. So yeah, roll a d5. I'm gonna close my eyes. I'm gonna stop it. Number 5. Okay, that's crazy. So basically, Lee says, fuck this shit. That's actually an option in the game. Lee says, maybe we should just leave. This isn't our problem. So he says that in this timeline, and they actually listen to him, and they just leave him. So all of these people, Ben, Travis, and David, they die. None of them join the group. And since these guys aren't coming with us, Mark is the one that told the group off screen during the time jump that everyone is infected. Mark knew in this timeline. Alright. Anyways, we're getting back to the motel now. Everything's chill. Lily's not pissed off at them for bringing back people. In this timeline, Lee has become Lily's right-hand man, sort of. Kenny has been fanatically working on the RV because he wants to take Katja to the coast and get out of here. But Lily's like, they don't argue or anything, but Lily, since Lee is her right-hand man, she's like, can you just do this for me today? I'm tired of being the bad guy. Or, she says some shit like that. So who's getting food from Lee? Basically, by the way, Clementine is getting food from Lee. I don't care. Why would, come on, bro. Okay, so, let's go. Who is Lee giving food to in this timeline? Kenny. Okay, so Lee and Kenny have fucking beef at this point. They are not friendly whatsoever. But Lee has decided to be the bigger man and offer him some food nonetheless. Okay. Who's next on this list of food recipients? Lily. Alright, Lee and Lily kind of have a love interest thing going on too, by the way. It's not really like a full-blown thing. There's subtle flirtation though, okay? And lingering glances at one another. Okay. Wait, what the hell? Lee? Am I tripping right now? Kenny. Okay. Lee gives Kenny and Lily food and somebody else food. T-Dog, Mark. Okay, so lame ass Mark is getting food. What happened? That's no way to treat your right hand man, T-Dog, bro. But whatever. Okay. T-Dog has his own secret stash of snacks in this timeline. Okay.
You're out! What happened to my food?
But they get interrupted by the St. John's, and basically 3 people are going to go with Lee to scope out the dairy. So now we gotta spin for that. So, number 1, Katja. Okay, so Katja and Kenny have a very bad relationship in this timeline, okay, guys? And T-Dog is trying to smash Katja, okay? T-Dog is he's got that dog in him. He's had his eyes on her since ever since the end of episode 1, bro. During the 3-month time jump, they've sort of T-Dog's been rizzing her up, and she's kind of fucking with it. But she's still with Kenny, though. Okay, so, who's next? Doug? Okay, Doug's going. Doug is lame. I don't like Doug that much, but he's fine, Him and Lee are kind of, cool with each other, They're kind of buddies like they are in the normal timeline. And Kenny's going, so they They talk to the St. John's. They go to the dairy. Lee, they ask Lee who's in charge. Lee says Lily's in charge because, Lee is Lily's right hand man. Kenny kind of fucking winces at that. So, yeah, very dramatic dynamic here. Who's gonna get Mark's death? So basically, one of these people is gonna get Mark's death. The other one is going, or the other two are gonna go back to the motel and stay there. So, yeah, let me hide these people. So one of these people is getting Mark's death. They get shot with an arrow, and they get their legs chopped off, and they get eaten by the group. And it's Doug. Okay. In this timeline, Doug is kind of more like badass in this timeline. He like knows how to shoot and stuff. He's really trying to like pull his weight. You know, he feels like I don't know. He's just trying to be more of a man. I guess I don't know. That's his reaction to Carly's death in this timeline, and he gets shot with the arrow. And unfortunate, he gets eaten. But Lee, he ain't gonna let that slide. He goes with Danny to find a bandit camp. They meet Jolene. Lee finds Clementine's missing hat. Flip a coin. Heads yes, tails no. Does Lee shoot Jolene in the face? He does. Okay, so on this timeline, Lee shoots Jolene. That's dope. Anyways, they get back. Kenny finds some crazy shit in the bar and he's like, Lee, we gotta get in there. Lily's like, don't get us in trouble, Lee. And I think honestly, in this timeline, Lee doesn't even open the thing. He doesn't even trust Kenny. He's like, you're nuts, man. And so yeah, Lee doesn't even go back there. But they eat dinner. Lee is kind of suspicious. He's like, where's Doug? And he goes upstairs. He finds Doug with no legs. He runs down. And this timeline, should I flip? I'll flip. Does Lee make it in time to stop Clementine? He does. Okay, so Clementine does not eat Doug. Good for Clementine. Anyways, so basically we have to find out who gets Larry's death. But before that, like in the game, Katja and Duck are not in the meat locker. So basically, I'm gonna roll for two people that are not in the meat locker, and they can't get Larry's death. Okay. Doug already died. That's crazy. I mean, I don't care. We lost nothing. Okay. Sorry, Doug. You were kind of a nothing of a character. But anyways, who's gonna get held hostage by the St. John? Larry? Lily. Lily. That's good. That's good. Yes. That's a dramatic dynamic between Lee and Larry and the meat locker. Okay. I don't even think it's a meat locker because it's a dairy. I don't know. Whatever. Who cares about the specifics? Okay. Who else is getting held hostage? Please don't be Larry. Lily and Mark. Okay. So these are obviously some of Lee's buddies. Okay, he gave both of them food. Okay, so but like Mark, whatever, bro. Okay, so all these other people are in the meat locker, and they can be potentially smashed. Their heads can be smashed with the salt lick, potentially. One of these four people. I swear to God, if it's Key Dog. Well, like I swear to God, but like, what am I swearing for? Okay, see, that's what I get for bringing God into it. Okay, so yeah, Key Dog is getting Larry's death. How does that happen? I don't know. T-Dog has diabetes in this timeline and his blood sugar is low, and he like passes out, okay? Larry says they have to smash his head in, but Katja says no and rushes to his side. This is where Kenny finds out his wife has eyes for another man, unfortunately, so he's kind of taken aback by that. Larry asks Lee for support. He says, we gotta do this. Lee, I know we have our differences, but I know you care about Lily. And after some back and forth, Lee agrees with Larry, and he pulls Katja away, and Larry smashes T-Dog's head with a salt lick. Damn. Mm, mm. Diabetic T-Dog. Okay. Uh, damn. Okay, so they kill T-Dog. Lee takes off the vent. Clementine crawls through. She opens the door. Uh, Lee and Larry go out together. I think Lee and Larry team up in this timeline, not Lee and Kenny. They go out. They jump Danny. Uh, yeah. Larry like hits Danny with a sickle, and he walks into the bell trap. He falls back into the hay. One of the characters is going to kill him. It can be Lee, but it can also be anybody else that's there. So yeah. Wait, am I tripping right now? I think I did something wrong. uh, right. Katja and Kenny were supposed to go back to the motel and stay at the motel. Okay, whatever. On this timeline, Nobody stays at the motel. I'm too far into this, okay? And honestly, I'm happy with this. Okay? I mean, rest in peace, T-Dog. I'm not gonna redo this, okay? I want this to be authentic, okay? I make mistakes. Whatever. I think it's good so far. Okay, Lee is killing Danny. W. He's getting it back in blood. He's pissed off about T-Dog, okay? Which understandably so. So he's pissed off. He kills Lee. Larry runs off to find Lily. Lee goes up to talk to Brenda. I think Brenda is holding Mark hostage in this timeline. Well, no, I don't think that even works because Mark would overpower her. You know, Mark's like a military. I mean, these guys are both military people, though. Whatever. Mark is getting held hostage. Okay, Mark is getting held hostage. Uh, Lee keeps talking to Brenda until she backs into Zombie Doug, and Doug kills Brenda. Okay, W Doug. Damn, T Dog died like that. That sucks. Whatever, bro. Okay. Anyways, who gets shot by Andy? So Andy has Lily hostage, and in the game, you know, it's Duck, and Kenny runs up and gets shot. So who's gonna get shot in this timeline? I hope it's Larry, because obviously that makes sense. But you know, we'll see. We'll see. One of these people, Mark, can get shot. Yeah, because we have Mark now. Okay. Okay. All right. One of these people are gonna get shot. Oh, I had to take off T Dog. Mark gets shot. Why does Mark get shot? Mark is okay. So Mark is pissed off about getting held hostage, and he's trying to fucking kick Andy's ass, but he gets shot. He gets shot instead of kicking his ass. He runs up, you know, I guess he didn't expect Andy to actually shoot him with the gun that was in his hand, but he runs up and he gets shot. Okay. And hmm. Yeah. And then Lee walks up and starts beating up fucking Andrew. Yeah. Okay. Does Lee beats his ass, but does Lee end up killing him? I'm gonna flip a coin. Heads yes, tails no. Does Lee kill Andy St. John? He does. So Andy is beat the fuck up. He's like, "Come back here, Lee! Don't you walk away from me, Lee!" Lee's like, you know, he goes back and he kills him. Okay, alright, great. Wow, very traumatic events this episode. Okay. Whatever. So, they leave the dairy and Lily and Lee have a brief conversation before Larry interrupts and asks Lee if he has a minute. Lee looks at Lily for approval before saying sure, and Lily leaves them. Larry extends an open hand. "I've been cruel to you, Lee, and I'm fucking sorry. Me and you, we're good." Lee hesitates before saying, "Okay, we're good," and the two shake hands before Larry walks away to catch up with Lily. Clementine walks up to Lee and asks if he had to kill those men, and Lee says yes, they were bad men. Suddenly, they hear a beeping sound, and they find the abandoned station wagon. Does Lee agree to steal the supplies? Will Clementine get her iconic red hoodie? Yes or no? Okay, rolling nothing but heads this episode. Lee says, "Come out or I'll shoot." Then he sneaks up and he sees that nobody is there, but he does find a shit ton of free supplies. Lily and Clementine are against stealing the supplies. Katja is kind of just off in her own world. She's traumatized. She doesn't even know what's going on right now. But Lee, Larry, Mark, and Kenny overrule Lily and Clementine, and they steal the supplies. Honestly, this is the right decision to make, okay? I love Clementine in the red hoodie, okay? Also, fuck the stranger, okay? He's a piece of shit. He's a bad father. Okay. Uh, damn. Damn. Uh, who's alive right now? I have to add these deaths. T-Dog died. Doug died. So this is our cast. That's crazy. I know what they died. They died. Shit. Damn. Damn, dude. Why'd T-Dog have to die? Well, okay. Whatever. This is our group of characters. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6, 7. Okay. Uh okay. Well, yeah, that was episode 2. Thank you. Sorry for the long wait. I'll try to make episode 3 in less time than it took to make this one. Thank you for watching. Okay. Uh, yeah. Damn. Rest in peace, T-Dog. My goat. How could this happen?